So I come to you folks with a great sense of urgency this evening. And I was listening to someone online and their message, and they were talking about some of the things that are being implemented right now as we speak in government around the world. There's some things going on, folks. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but you've been getting warned consistently by various people online, myself included. And, I speak from a spiritual place, but I also talk about the technicals, folks, and what's right in front of your face. And I've talked about this many times. Um, I wrote down some things. Let me get my notes because, I was listening and, I've realized that there were some things that I had to address if I was going to do this video. I did get word a couple of days ago, but I wanted to wait and try to feel out things and see what's going on and what's playing out in the media and certain things. Because I told you guys that the next time we talked, I probably or likely would issue some things. And we're going to get to that too later on in this video. But, I was listening and, this gentleman was talking about all of the things that are going to come down the pike very shortly, right? With this martial law in reference to, vaccines and certain things. And I told you guys that, and they broke down a lot of the things that I've discussed with many of you who follow this channel, where I try to get you to use deductive reasoning, just to reason things for what they are right in front of your faces. The majority of you are blind and on some level, so you can't be of help to anyone else. The blind will lead the blind in these cases. But this is the reason why you don't understand when things are put right in front of your faces, folks. Right? What they're going to do, who they're going to target. And if you were to believe anything that's said about, that's all of this stuff that's now being ramped up again, if you were to believe this stuff, right? And you would think about deductively reasoning who should get what or why, then maybe people who are more susceptible, like elderly people or something. But when you try to make a narrative when you know for a fact that this thing clearly started somewhere on the other side of the world, and now you're trying to make it the problem of a particular group, and you're naming all of these people in this group, and it just so happens that everyone in this group, are part of the same group. They're subgroups of the same group, so to speak. Right? Ironically, even though this thing has supposedly, and what we've seen, affected everyone else in the world, folks. So we know that there's a reason why there has to be a clamp down on these certain folks, right? And the thing about this is that the carnal-minded person, that's why I made these notes. And let me get into what I wanted to address first. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll start off by talking about something that you guys witnessed, a technical thing, right? Maybe a couple of days ago, you guys had a blackout on YouTube, right? And this was worldwide. I mean, like, people in other places were experiencing this from where you are, right? This is a worldwide thing. And we all understand that our technology, the satellites, is how we get this YouTube and these different platforms on social media, through satellites, right? Networks and stuff. So I explained to you guys that, maybe in a couple of videos back, and I don't know if you picked that up, but if you integrate yourself with that network, what happens to you when that network fails, folks? I want you to really think about that. Once you integrate yourself with circuitries that connect to that network, if that network is snuffed, what happens to you? So if you go along and take a chip or something and go along and become and join yourself with the network that man has created, when that network is snuffed, you will go along with it. Does it make any sense to you? So you will most certainly die if you sign on to this bullshit, right? But you'll die from the hands of the Most High, folks. And I wanted to show you, I brought up the social media thing because I wanted to show you that man has no fucking control, even to this very second, right now. Your social media could go out right now, but since I'm doing this video, it's probably not going to happen. But your social media can go out right now, right? And you're literally at the mercy of a hand to put the social media back. And I'm not talking about these motherfucking air breathers who are trying to put chips in your asses. They have no power and control of the heavens, folks. Right? Their rockets and planes and stuff are being held in air and gravity and certain things that the heavens are providing to you folks. They are not more powerful than the hand of the Most High, folks. No, they're not at all. And so, your planes can fall from the skies, your engines can fail, anything can happen because the Lord is the energy of anything that you possess. Right? Mama Earth, you're in her shaky ball and you're trying to run shit in her shaky ball, which is fucking insane. But a narcissistic mind to keep total control, thinking that in this last ditch Hail Mary effort, he's going to throw this fucking miraculous pass that's going to be received down the field somewhere. And the clock is just buzzing down or something. He thinks this is going to happen. Right? He's going to be rudely fucking awakened. So I found myself, another thing I brought up that I've jotted was I found myself recalling a video I saw some years back, and it was so cute. I had to keep watching over and over again. It got some really big views, and you guys may have seen this video, but it was a nature video, right? And it was out there in the wilderness somewhere, maybe Africa or something, and there was a hippo. Oh, I'm gonna take this here for a Oh, how you social media people done? Okay. Now that we've gotten through with the bullshit and the fun, because children like to play, y'all. But I want you to think about that clip that you saw with the hippos, right? And you saw a mother hippo and her baby, right? They were going through, a pond somewhere or something, and there was like a pit of alligators all around, surrounding, and they were afraid of the mama hippo. And so the mom hippo pushes the baby or the calf or whatever they call a baby hippo, I'm not sure, but pushes the young hippo right into the crowd of the alligators, and they did not touch the hippo. Right? All of this soft dangling flesh, moving about in the water. And alligators instinctively will lock on to such a thing and do certain things, but they were so fucking shook that they stood there in the midst of this baby playing around in the water and stuff, and they were surrounding this baby. And none of them dared not fucking lay a hand or a tooth on that damn baby. Right? And it was so funny because you could see it play it out. You don't speak hippo, you don't speak alligator, but you clearly saw mama telling them, if you put your hands on my baby, foot going up ass. And they got the message, right? Right? So I want you to think about when your mom is the ground that one stands on, right? Or the air that one breathes is one's mom, right? And so mom sends baby man into a sea of devils, right? Of warmongers, of fake kings and fake, armies and shit, right? Sends them in the midst of this, right? And what do? Now, if you're dealing with a man, even the animals had enough fucking sense to realize when they couldn't win. But man is a fucking fool, folks. Man will test the waters, if you will, right? So to speak. And he will try to challenge a greater hand than him. Your arms are way too fucking short to be swinging at the air and trying to fight the Most High, folks. Your arms are way too short, right? And you're going to find out, right? So, Raft, right? And I've heard, these are things that I just heard people speaking on social media. Some of it was the video that I started out with, right? But, somebody talked about the Lord bringing Raft and stuff. And I want you guys to to understand how I'm looking at it from my perspective, right? Have you guys ever seen the swords of Raft, folks? What does a sword of Raft look like? Have you ever seen one, a real actual sword of Raft thrown down from the Most High? Have you ever witnessed this? See, I have, folks. And remember, everything that I say to you folks before the new day, because all of this stuff is for the new day. Everything I'm telling to you, I can prove to you, and you'll learn it in the new day if you're chosen for that new day, right? You'll bear witness to this stuff. But yes, I have witnessed the Lord many times throw down his sword of wrath, folks. What does that mean to you? When I tell you this, if I showed you the Lord throwing down his sword of wrath, if I showed you the sword of wrath, right? You know, coming down from the heavens in a thunderbolt, folks, encased in a thunderbolt, if I could show you the sword, what would you think? Would you think that you were mightier than the hand who threw that sword? Right? That someone talked about planetary alignments and how if you look on this day, if you look right, you can get all the planets in one, one viewing, right? Because they're lining up or whatever. But how about this? How about if all of those planets visited you all the time? It visited you every in the mornings or something. So how about if I went out my house in the morning and all of those planets that you're talking about were lined up side by side over my roof of my house in real time? Right? What would you think about that? I didn't have to go out and get a telescope and try to, maneuver the telescope or calculate something to see this. I'm talking about the heavens are my family, folks. So imagine going out of your house on a typical morning and all of the heavenly bodies, 7 to 9 or how many they are lined up over your house, directly over your house. And they're huge, folks. Right? I can prove all this stuff to you. What do you think about that? What does that mean to you? Right? When we talk about war with the heavens, right? And you talk about attempting to reach into places that you have no fucking business because you're fucking devils. Do you believe that you're strong enough to overcome the heavens? Whom hold the ground you stand on and make the air you breathe and give you that gravity and that air for you to, to transverse or whatever you're doing, right? And you've gotten cocky with this bullshit. The Lord has allowed you to do stuff and you've gotten cocky thinking that it wasn't his hand who would allow you to do it, folks, because you're fucking fools. And I'm talking to certain people. You know who I'm talking to. It's just a casual talk, though. Right? So, when they talk about going door to door, delivering, this poison to whoever they're going to try to target because they know that time is up and they know that the heavens are about to rain down on their asses. So they got to get a hold on the people that are connected to the heavens. Y'all not hearing me, though. So when I go back to that mama hippo, right? And in this case, we're talking about the great one, honor great one. I'm talking about Mama Earth. Mother Earth is, whom is my mom, right? Who holds the ground you stand on? The ground of the people who are talking all this shit and saying what they're going to do and what they're going to implement, right? And she's making air for them too, right? So this is what we're going to do. And I may come back and make some changes to this, but right now we're going to do this just really quickly. And it's off the cuff. Because I understand that you guys have a plan to do a rollout where you're going to go door to door and you're going to try to harm certain people and do certain things. And because I have been back and given word, I'm going to issue a few things in regards to this action you're going to attempt to do. Okay? There will be serious weather situations in certain places where you're going to try to start this off, right? And so you'll find yourselves in the middle of a storm that you didn't know was coming, that just sprung up on your asses in the middle of you on your way to go implement certain things, if you know what I mean, right? And because if you have a problem with what I'm saying, you always can feel free to address the Most High. If you have a problem with anything that I'm saying, to those people who think that this is not going to occur, You can look to the heavens and you can tell him you don't appreciate what I'm saying, right? And I'm not thinking about y'all. I'm just telling y'all what he's going to do. Okay? He is the muscle. You're going to bear witness. So, you're going to witness storms, right? Of various types, right? You may have serious, windstorms, right? Where the wind will just dominate the scene. And you'll find yourself having a seriously hard time navigating in all of this fucking wind and commotion that's going on. Because see, I know the four winds. I know the great wind. Honor great ones. Right? They're family folks. Right? And really when I do these things, it's not even to give you, it's not even to warn you really. It's not even really to give you a show. It's just to tell you what's going to be, right? To show you that you're not the muscle. And that's what we've been talking about. And we're going to continue to talk about this throughout the next series of videos. The muscle. The muscle is you realizing that you can't do shit, right? I was talking to someone a short while ago and I was explaining to them that imagine if the rain cut on and it just kept raining, right? After maybe 3 or 4 days, your top people who so-called run this world would sit around and they would pray and hope that it stopped raining, right? They have no authority to stop the rain from raining. Something as simple as rain could shut your whole military out, right? Right? Because you're strong, right? So if you're so strong, how about you get a tank or a missile and make it stop raining in a certain location? If it started raining right as I spoke, right, and it just kept raining and raining until I told it to stop raining, right? Then who would be the real muscle? Who's backing me up? See, y'all not getting this, right? The Most High is the Most High source creator of the universe. He holds all things in all life, including the heavens, who do duty for him and make the fucking air that you breathe. I know I'm being repetitive, but some of you are not getting this and processing that you have no control over the air you breathe, nor the ground you stand on. I mean, I can keep telling you. I'm just going to have to show you, right? Right? So just for this exercise and for my own enjoyment, right? Coming up very shortly, you're going to have in certain places where they're announcing certain things, or you're knowing where they're going to be rollouts in certain places, and it could be anywhere in the world, right? Anywhere in the world, right? Maybe the places that I know about right now where they're talking about rolling this thing right now, maybe those places will go first. And I like to give a shout out to the UK, right? And to England, to those folks out in England who are following the message, and I really appreciate your support and understanding, or trying to understand, right? And how about this? How about this? How about the UK? Okay. Sure. Because you guys believe, right? You guys believe, right? So how about I do this for you guys to show you that the Lord is with you, right? To show you that he's the strength, to give you that reinforcing, thing in you. The words are escaping me at the moment, but to give you that extra courage, so to speak, right? And I know you guys have it, but I mean just to give you that extra little bit to make you know, right? Perseverance to get through this or something. Okay. So, how about this? As of the time I speak, which is right now, I'll do it from now because I won't date it. As of the time I speak, today is y'all know what day it is today, right? Look down in the look down in your window on the phone or something, right, for this video. But this very hour that I'm speaking, there's going to be a serious windstorm. And I notice how I said a windstorm. I don't even know what they call a windstorm. Maybe it's just called a windstorm, I guess. But there's going to be a storm of some type, right? Because I know the hands who give you that wind. And there's going to be a serious windstorm in the UK, right? In England, right? In those places where where the devils have put the most muscle, where the devils have asserted themselves as the authorities, and they're strong and powerful. And you guys who are listening and following in England, you guys know of these particular places, so you know where they look, right? There's going to be a serious wind situation, right? And it should start up as the time I speak. And I'm not the hand who's doing it, but y'all just pay attention to what's going on, right? What that's going to do is going to show you that at any given time that can happen, meaning that if those people are gathered, those opposing forces, those workers of iniquity are gathered in a place to do harm to the people that the Lord has his finger on. This exercise will show you that at any given time, any motherfucking thing can happen. Because I realized, even back in ancient times, even back in the days of Moses, the Pharaoh sent his troops to get Moses and everybody. And as they crossed the Red Sea and the sea parted, the troops witnessed this miraculous event where the fucking ocean just fucking parted, the sea just fucking parted for them, right? And they walked right on across, like a canal just sprung up, and they walked right on fucking across this thing to the other side, right? What made the soldiers believe that the Lord was going to allow them to do the same thing? Think about it for a minute. See, you're a fool. Men are always fools. These are the same people from those days, folks, just carnated in a new lifetime. Same fools, marching to their own slaughters, like I told you in other videos, right? And I'll come back and amend this a little bit, and we'll talk more about the educational parts, because I'm going to get to something real quick. But I was talking to the Most High before I decided to do this video, and and I'll get to, he gave me word, and this is how it was so beautiful how this was done. I was standing out in the field, about to take a walk like I normally do. And this bright red bird appears, a cardinal or something or whatever. I don't know what type of bird it was, but it was completely red. And it was the bird was so brightly red that I could see this bird from maybe 50 yards away, or however, maybe it was about 50 yards away from me. And the bird comes out of a bush and takes a few steps and then pivots and turns directly, and we're facing directly each other. I'm looking at this little red bird, and he's so bright that I can see him out in the field. And we're facing each other. So, of course, I know that this bird is about to come to me. I know this, right? I know that this is I'm about to get word. So then I see another bird who's not red fly up to this bird, and they land next to him. He lands next to this bird, and they're chirping and looking at each other and everything. And while they're doing that, they're looking at me and chirping with each other. Now, I want you guys to think about, like, when you've gone to a party or something, you're meeting your friends, and you get in the party, and they're in the back of the room, and there's a lot going on, commotion, and you see your two friends, and they're talking to each other. Obviously, you can visually see that they're talking, but as they're talking, they're making eye contact with you, and then to which you see one of your friends raise their hand and say, "Come on over," or something, right? And you'll see that. And you going over there, right? Well, the birds did the same thing for me, because as soon as that bird made eye contact with the other bird, they talked and looked at each other and looked at me. They both flew directly to me from that moment. They did that, and then they just flew to me. Right? So I got the message. And now I'm giving you the message. Right? For the folks in England, pay attention and stay tuned. And, check out your news reports. And you can comment down below for this video, right, in reference to that. We'll be talking very shortly, folks. I'll be back very shortly.